You're worried about central bank digital currency. Just talk us through what your concerns are.
Well, in a nutshell, I've been hearing for some years about people losing their bank accounts. People I know in business having their bank accounts closed, almost with no explanation given whatsoever. I was also aware that people in public life, whether that's politics or senior positions in the law or civil service, it isn't just the individual that has problems, it's all their friends and relations. There are 20 people associated with me who are classed as politically exposed persons. It's absolutely crackers. The idea that my near 90-year-old father is a drug runner, it's just completely for the birds. So I've been aware of this problem. And then it happened to me. I've been with that banking group for 43 years. I run all my city businesses through them, do my current personal and business stuff through them. You get a phone call, we're closing your accounts, the letter arrives, no explanations given. And I spent 5 or 6 weeks thinking, do I go public on this? Because you see, to admit in public you've been debanked, it's actually quite embarrassing, isn't it? It's embarrassing, it's not good for your future credit rating, but in the end, after a glass or two of something, just to settle down, I just thought, well, I won't tell you exactly what I thought, but I just thought, the hell with it. They can't go on behaving like this. So I went public with it. And then we learned the real intricacies, that she'd leaked a lie to the BBC as to the reason that it was closed. I then got the subject access request, which said I did not align with the bank's values. And then the whole thing just exploded. And then everyone starts coming out of the woodwork. And I've now set up, Mark, a website, accountclosed.org. I'm encouraging people who've been debanked to go to that site. I've got a load more stories to break. But in essence, there are 3 or 4 things at play here. One, this politically exposed person is designed to stop money laundering. The big drugs cartels launder tens of billions of dollars every month, but none of it comes through UK politicians, and it never has. So it's completely unnecessary. Secondly, we've got the whole issue of the anti-money laundering regulations, AML as it's known. You're running a small business, you suddenly have a large check paid into your account, the bank looks at it and says, well, rather than go through the bother of ringing Mr. Smith or asking him to come and see us, do you know what? It's cheaper for us just to close the account because it's a suspicious payment. You've got that problem. But the other problem is cash. If you're running a business, if you're running a fish stall and the average sale is about £8.50, people give you a tenner. You give them change back. Of the 10,000 bank branches that there were in Britain in 2015, by the end of this year, only 4,000 will be open. 3 out of 5 bank branches will have closed in the space of just under 9 years. And even when you find a branch that's open, they don't want cash. And NatWest have proposed that as from the 11th of September, you will not be able to withdraw more than £250 or put in more than £250. Now, I delivered a petition to Jeremy Hunt the other week, 300,000 signatures, saying don't kill cash. And he has actually responded actively to this. So I hope NatWest begin to rethink it. But here's the real worry, and this is not a conspiracy theory. We are recruiting, the government are recruiting right now, and they've recruited quite a few people already. They'll be introducing in 2030 a central bank digital currency. It'll begin in an introductory form, but who knows, by 2035, they may decide we'll go completely cashless. Why is that a problem? I already see banks controlling people's expenditure. Unbelievable. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you want to put some money into cryptocurrency. You want to put some money into Ethereum or Bitcoin. If you're with NatWest or HSBC and you put a couple of grand into Coinbase, an FCA registered company, they might close your account. If we have CBDCs, that gives government the ability to have the ultimate control over everything we do in our lives, including personal carbon allowances and God knows what. And I feel And this ULEZ extension, I know Peterborough's a long way away from that, but this ULEZ extension has made us all realise that there seems to be no limit to the levels of surveillance or power that governments want over our lives. And I would have thought, in a room full of entrepreneurs like this, we should all think that's a very, very bad and very worrying thing. So I am absolutely full on don't kill cash, because I do not want to live. I don't want to live in communist China, basically.
So what can we all do to sort of manage these risks? I mean, you know, this business 4 or 5 years ago, we were using almost exclusively WorldPay to take card payments, and we had a letter through. You know, there was a bit of a lead up, and they basically said, we're going to close your account, you've got 3 months. And obviously we then couldn't take any money if that had gone through. And in the end, I think we had to give them £500,000 to keep the account open. And then they sort of worked it down over a period of time. We got the money back eventually. But what that taught me was that we weren't going to be with one payment processor. So I think now we're with 6. Because yesterday Square went down for 5 hours.
Yep. 2 million retailers use Square, went down for 5 hours. So if that was what you were relying on, you had a problem.
Yeah. So I think this applies for payment processors. I think it applies for bank accounts. You know, we're across I think we bank with about 4 or 5 different banks for our accounts, and across 2 sort of big banking groups. You know, because I remember in 2008, slightly different reasons, but when the banks got into bother back then, you know, they were knocking on our doors saying, give us £2 million back, give us 5 million, you're not in covenant, because they were running out of money. So I think the key to this is you've got to, in all your businesses, have multiple different, be using multiple different banks, and they need to be within different banking groups. So it can't just be, I don't know, Ulster Bank and RBS and Coots.
It's time consuming. It's time consuming, and it's a bore, but it's less of a bore than being closed down by a bank, even when you've done nothing wrong. So it really is worth it.
It gives you time to move, and the same goes.
I wish I'd done it.
The same goes with your loans, your mortgages. You know, we won't go below 3. So even if, you know, I managed to get really good facilities from, say, 2, you know, banking groups, and they're the cheapest, I'll always have a third and have a good relationship. So then if suddenly they demand money back, we've got 2 others with the existing relationship we can go to. So I think there's a lot of lessons in that.
Yeah.